Hey everybody, my name's Tom, and I want to talk to you today about the New Holland 4.75 PowerStar. I have a 2014 model. When I bought it, it had about 217 hours on it. Shortly after I bought it, I noticed that sounded like the alternator was squealing. I tightened up the belt. Been using the tractor for a little while now. It's got about 800 hours on it, and it kind of quietened down for a little bit, but it was still squealing. So I thought a bearing was going out in the alternator. It still seemed like the alternator was charging. I thought due to some moisture or something getting in there. Noticed a couple times I've had a little bit of overheating problem. Pull it up, and you know how you pull out your condenser and the screens and stuff, clean them out. Well, I've done that, trying to maintain, keep my oil changed. But I've still been noticing these issues. So here, just this last week, I was out here taking some implements off my tractor, and I stepped out of the tractor and it was squalling or something awful. And I had the AC on, and I noticed the AC wasn't really working. So what I did was I went ahead and turned the AC off, unhooked my implements, come back down here where I work on my equipment and stuff, and I popped the hood on it, got up in there, and I was looking around, and looked like all the belts were turning good. It was still squealing. I shut the tractor off. I reached over, felt the belt on the compressor. It felt like it was tight enough, and I felt the belt on the other side. It felt kind of loose, so I went ahead and tightened it up. And I tightened it up pretty damn tight, as tight as I could get it, and without snapping the belt. And I fired it back up. It's still squealing. And this is the reason why, like I said, I was thinking in my head that it was the alternator bearing going bad in it. Well, when I turn on the AC compressor, the tractor would start squalling even louder, and I noticed my voltage would drop now. And I turn on my lights, everything. And my buddy's an electrician. He's like, well, when you turn on all this extra stuff, you're putting a resistance on that alternator. And we were discussing belt issue, but couldn't tell at the point in time, because when I actually looked at it, I wasn't thinking. So I turned my air compressor on, and when I turned my air compressor on, I climbed out there and had the hood open, the sides off of it, and I'm looking, and it was spinning just fine. And then all of a sudden I noticed that it slowed down and started squalling real bad, and my fan was not turning. And your fan basically pulley turns your water pump and the whole 9 yards, and plus you got to have your fan to keep it from overheating. Well, anyways, I looked and I was trying to figure out what's going on. The other belt's just spinning like crazy, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's the issue. So I'm thinking either my AC compressor is locking up or seizing up, or my alternator. I'm trying to figure out, because like I said, this tractor's only got 800 hours on it, and I'm not thinking belt. A new tractor shouldn't have belt issues. So that's where we're fixing to go with this. So I turned the tractor off, got in there, and I was feeling around with the belt. This is the original belt, and I'll tell you right now, this thing has absolutely, you can see it shining, okay, shining. This thing has absolutely no grip to it. It's real thin. It's made in France. So I went to AutoZone. I tried to find a replacement belt. It's 8 ribs. They didn't have anything this short. It's about 54 inches long. They didn't have nothing like this. They had a 6 rib one, but it's about a quarter inch longer than this one. I brought it home to try it out because, you know, I was trying to find a belt. I was Googling and everything else, and I couldn't find a belt to be sure of. So I put that 6 on there, the 6 rib belt on there. Seemed to help a little bit, and that was a oh goodness, I can't even think of the name brand of it right now. One that AutoZone sells, and I bought another AC belt. This is the original one. The AC belt wound up being too loose by a quarter of an inch, and so what I did is I called up Napa and I ordered a belt. I'm going to talk to the guy on the phone. I don't know if we can see this. It's a micro V belt, Napa. There's a part number. It's Gates Fleet Runner. Actually gives the belt size right here. Okay, so when you go looking for it, it's 54 and a quarter inches long. Okay, it's a greenback belt. I would be outside right now, but my camera phone wasn't wanting the video. It was locking up, I guess because of the heat outside. But put this belt on, and then I got a new belt for the AC unit through Napa. And it costs about $65. But I'll tell you what, I've been looking at forums and everything else, people talking about having tractor overheating problems. I don't care if you buy this tractor brand new. I'd spend the $65 and replace these 2 belts with these belts. It's a thicker belt, it's an industrial belt. It is working good. The fan is blowing harder than what I think I've ever noticed it blow before. I mean, I can feel it, stand away from the tractor and feel it. It's not squilling anymore. My air compressor's turning. I'm absolutely happy. Like I said, I've noticed a lot of people with low hours on these tractors complaining about overheating problems. Check the belt. Replace the belt. Don't buy another one of these cheesy things. It is thin. It's junk. I think they bought the cheapest belt they could find. I'm telling you, right here, these 2 belts. Another issue I want to talk about is I don't think New Holland knows what Loctite is when they manufacture these tractors. Again, I'm not out there to kind of show you on my tractor, but I will explain it to you. Where your transmission bolts to your rear end, there's bolts. There's some on the back side, a couple on the back side, and then there's ones that go around the bottom. And my tractor only has 800 hours on it. You know, and I do a lot of box blading and stuff like that with my tractor. I've been working a lot on my property. I have 8 acres, been cleaning up and everything. Well, and I use my brush hog a lot, so you get a lot of vibration. The bolts loosened up and almost backed all the way out. And when I parked my tractor, I noticed that oil was leaking out one afternoon when I went to move it, and I had to clean those bolt holes out with some brake clean, and I used red Loctite, and I Loctite the shit out of those things. I almost separated my tractor. Another thing, if you look underneath there, if you've got the 4-wheel drive tractor, there's that cover that goes from the transmission where your shaft is. It goes all the way to the front. There's bolts on the side of it, little bitty bolts. They vibrate out. Loctite them in. Okay. Another thing, right in the center, looks like a carrier bearing right in the center, and with 2 bolts going straight up. And between that deal, there's a spacer. Now, here the other day, I was out working my tractor again. You know, I check things out on my tractor pretty regular. But I noticed when I came back to my tractor, I went and dumped a load of dirt with my dump truck, and that's what I was doing, is loading. And as I walked back to my tractor, I noticed there was a bolt laying on the ground, a black bolt. I pick it up, crawl under the tractor, and I'm looking around to see where this bolt fell off at. Well, it was them two bolts that go straight up through that deal. I would suggest, and I lost one bolt was completely gone, vibrated out, and I found the one bolt laying on the ground, and the spacer was there. Only $20 to order new bolts and spacers, but Loctite them in with red Loctite. I'd go through this thing. If you're having issues with bolts coming loose or whatever, inspect it, please, because you do not want to split this tractor in half. Because right now I still have a little seepage around my transmission and my rear end of hydraulic oil, and I was told about $4,000 to $5,000 to fix that problem. So I'm telling you right now, you buy one of these new, or you go do your first oil change on it, get you some brake clean, leave those other bolts, go through there and make sure they're all tight, pull one bolt at a time, Loctite it in, okay? Anywhere where you might have oil leak out, because you do not want to split this tractor in half. Alright, so anyways, I hope this fixes the issue. I don't care if you buy that tractor brand new, replace these belts. They're junk. Again, these parts right here, these two part numbers right here, Napa Auto Parts, about 65 bucks. It was for me because I'm in Oklahoma, and we have a sales tax. So anyhow, right now, these two belts, because I'm lucky I didn't blow my engine up because of a stupid, cheesy ass belt. Spend the money, protect your investment. Anyways, everybody, I'll talk to you later.